What happens when the boss joins his own customer support call? Let's dive in to see. The morning sun was still climbing over the horizon as Nathaniel Clark sat at his desk in a towering office building, looking out over the city below. He had always been a man of precision, determination, and control. Nathaniel wasn't just the CEO of a rapidly growing tech company. He was a visionary who had built it from the ground up. He had been praised for his sharp mind and unmatched business instincts, but there was one thing that always bothered him: the relationship between the company and its customers. He had heard the complaints, the praises, and everything in between, but something didn't sit right with him. Could things really be as perfect as the quarterly reports suggested? He couldn't shake the feeling that there was something missing in the way his company communicated with its clients. His marketing team made all the right moves. His customer service team was friendly, competent, and efficient. But still, there was this nagging thought at the back of his mind. Do they really understand what customers are going through when they call? He had to know for himself. So, one morning, as Nathaniel sat in his sleek leather chair, he made a decision. He would go undercover. Not in the traditional sense, but in a way that no one would expect. He would join a customer support call, posing as an average customer, and hear everything firsthand. There was no better way to uncover the truth about how the company was truly treating its clients. His mind raced with curiosity. What will he hear? What will he discover? Nathaniel couldn't stop thinking about the potential lessons this could teach him. The first step was simple: disguise. He created a new, anonymous email address and signed up for a customer support call under a fake name, something plain, something no one would recognize. He decided on Lucas Preston. It was a solid, common name that wouldn't raise any suspicion. Nathaniel even went so far as to adjust his voice slightly, making it sound less authoritative, more down to earth. No one would suspect the CEO of being on the other end of the line. When the day arrived, Nathaniel waited nervously by his phone, tapping his fingers on the desk. His pulse raced. He had never done anything like this before, but the desire to know the truth drove him. He had to hear what his customers were really saying and how his company was responding to their needs. His phone rang. A calm, professional voice answered. "Thank you for calling New Horizons Tech Support. My name is Kevin. How can I help you today?" Nathaniel's heart skipped a beat, but he quickly regained composure and replied in a low, pleasant tone. "Hi, Kevin. My name is Lucas Preston. I've been having some trouble with my laptop. It keeps freezing and shutting down randomly." Kevin, who had been well trained for customer service calls, responded promptly and with a smile that Nathaniel could almost hear through the phone. "I'm so sorry to hear that, Mr. Preston. Let me assure you, we're going to take care of this. Can I have the model number of your laptop, please?" Nathaniel provided the details. Kevin asked a series of questions about the issue, sounding genuinely concerned. This was exactly what Nathaniel had expected: a professional response, an attempt to make the customer feel valued. But Nathaniel wasn't fooled. There's more to it than just words, he thought. As the call continued, something began to shift in Nathaniel. Kevin wasn't just a voice on the other end of the line. He was real, a person doing his best in a job that, to most, was just a paycheck. Kevin was patient, empathetic, and efficient. But as Nathaniel listened closely, he started to pick up on small details: the long hours Kevin worked, the tiredness in his voice when he spoke about the previous day's calls, the subtle frustration when he apologized for having to place Nathaniel on hold because the system was running slow. Nathaniel felt a deep pang of guilt. It was clear to him now. His company's customer service team was overworked. They were handling hundreds of calls every day, juggling more than any one person should. Kevin's voice, despite his professionalism, was strained. And that was just one call. How many others were experiencing the same thing? A sudden thought hit Nathaniel hard. What if this isn't just a problem with customer service? What if the problem runs deeper, all the way to the top? The call progressed, and Kevin, in his usual friendly way, guided Nathaniel through the steps to resolve the issue with the laptop. Nathaniel's mind wandered, thinking about all the things he had overlooked, the long hours his employees were putting in, the pressure from upper management to perform, the crushing weight of expectations. Had he been too focused on growth? Had he failed to see the human side of his company? Kevin continued talking, explaining something about a potential system update, but Nathaniel wasn't fully listening. His mind was swirling with realizations. The way Kevin had sounded earlier, it wasn't just exhaustion. It was a feeling of being unheard, of being caught in a system that cared more about numbers than people. Nathaniel's heart sank. He thought he had created something great, but now he wasn't so sure. He wasn't blind to the sacrifices his employees were making. At the end of the call, Kevin, still professional, asked if there was anything else he could help with. Nathaniel, feeling a strange mix of emotions, hesitated before responding. "No, Kevin, you've been really helpful. Thanks for your time," he said, his voice thick with something he couldn't quite name. The call ended, and Nathaniel sat there in silence for a long time. What had just happened? He had expected to hear something, maybe an isolated complaint or a misunderstanding, but what he'd heard was something more profound, something that threatened the very foundation of what he had built. The twist came a week later when Nathaniel, still reeling from his experience, received a message from Kevin. It wasn't anything official, just a short note that had been sent to the wrong email. Kevin had been responding to a routine inquiry about an upcoming product release. But as Nathaniel read through it, his stomach tightened. Kevin had written about a new initiative coming from the upper management, a new directive that was going to be implemented. But what caught Nathaniel's eye were the words, "We're all just cogs in the machine, right? Doesn't matter how hard we work as long as the numbers look good." The email wasn't meant for him, but it was enough to make Nathaniel's blood run cold. Was this what the company had become? A machine? The final twist came when Nathaniel, unable to shake the weight of his discoveries, decided to meet with Kevin in person. It was an impulsive decision, one that came from a place of genuine regret. He wanted to apologize, to understand more. Kevin, surprised but understanding, agreed to meet. They sat in a small cafe near the office. Kevin had no idea who Nathaniel really was. To him, Nathaniel was just another regular customer. Nathaniel stared at him, this man who had unknowingly changed his life, and finally said, "Kevin, I want you to know something. You've been doing an incredible job, and I'm sorry for everything I've missed." Kevin, a little confused, blinked. "What do you mean, sir?" Nathaniel sighed, his voice breaking. "I'm the CEO of New Horizons Tech. I've been listening. I've been paying attention, and I realize now that I've been part of the problem." The two men sat in silence for what felt like an eternity, the weight of those words hanging in the air. Kevin wasn't sure how to respond. The shock was too much. But in that moment, Nathaniel knew. He had a chance to make things right. And so, Nathaniel Clark began a new chapter for his company. Not one focused on numbers or efficiency, but one that put people first. Kevin, and many others like him, became the heartbeat of the company once again, and Nathaniel never forgot the lessons he had learned that day. Sometimes it takes seeing the world through someone else's eyes to understand what truly matters. And in that one phone call, Nathaniel had discovered the truth that would change everything. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.